Welcome to our webinar, Enhancing Project Portfolio Management with Microsoft Planner, the Power Platform, and OnePlan. If you enjoy this topic, please explore our YouTube channel for more videos and follow us on LinkedIn for event announcements.
Welcome, everybody. In this world of project and portfolio management and just overall work management, Microsoft has been in an era of transition. Today, we're going to talk about the evolution of Microsoft Planner, the use of the Power Platform, and how OnePlan can round this out to provide a fully enhanced and fully capable project portfolio management solution. And we'll talk about some variations in there as well. So let's get started. You know, Microsoft Project and Work Management, there's been some evolutions over the past years, especially since 2019. But originally, most people are familiar with Microsoft Project on the desktop originally, where people can build robust schedules and have really advanced scheduling capabilities at your fingertips in a fat client on the desktop in the Microsoft ecosystem. Now, that was later extended to allow us, instead of saving just to Microsoft Project files or MPP files, to be able to have a repository-based solution where we would publish these schedules and other data to a database and do portfolio management in Project Online, which has been with us for quite some time now. And it met the needs for many years, and it's still available, but it's not the focus of where Microsoft is today. Now, because Microsoft Project was a very robust tool that required training and skill sets to do that, Microsoft did come out in Office 365 with their version of Planner that was really meant for simple task management and even for simple projects that people might want to manage within that organization. And it met that need and allowed people to do things in a more of a board and Kanban card type of scenario. But it really wasn't a scheduler. It really wasn't a project management tool per se that had a scheduling engine, dependencies, and all those types of things, and resource quantification. So the gap that came next was Microsoft Project for the Web. And Project for the Web really was meant to be something in between, a more modern web-based UI, simpler than Microsoft Project Professional on the desktop was, providing all the basics, and be a tool that could be adopted by that casual or occasional project manager that wasn't formally trained in something like Microsoft Project. And that's been available for us in your browser since about 2019. Now, Project for the Web capabilities didn't and still does not have all the capabilities of Microsoft Project on the desktop and or Microsoft Project Online. Now, those Project for the Web capabilities, though, still are significant and meets the needs for a number of people. So, for example, being able to have a grid view to build your schedules and work with it more like a spreadsheet for the schedule information that you're looking to use. Board views that you can actually organize these things in different buckets so that you can manage them in a Kanban style like you do in Planner. And then the timeline or Gantt view that's available for you to work with things in that mode. All the same data behind the scenes, just different perspectives on how to work that. And then as we look to analyze and aggregate this, now this reminds you on a single project by project basis, like in a Microsoft Project file, but there's charting that became available just like you have in Planner. There is the people board that basically can organize this and view this by what's been assigned to who and look at how things are going on a resource-focused basis. And then the ability to have goals for your project identified in here as well. And then ultimately be able to look within this individual project, where people are assigned and to what days and to what extent within this specific project. Once again, it's a single project focus and not a portfolio focus at this point. Now, the Microsoft Power Platform became a strategic direction for Microsoft a number of years ago. And it does include Power BI, which many of us are using for reporting and analytics, Power Apps, which is the low-code, no-code application development environment, and Power Automate for things like process automation and light integrations of different tool sets. And once again, all this is where Project for the Web was built. So instead of storing your data in files, right, or in a SharePoint-based environment like Project Online was, all the data was being stored in a Dataverse repository on the back end which is the data repository for the Power Platform. Okay, so Microsoft Project for the Web was built in this environment. Now, some of the advantage of this is you could just use it as your own individual scheduler. You could build, multiples of schedules in Project for the Web that you had. This was available to you, and that data would be stored in the Dataverse. So it's in a common location, common repository. The benefit of that is it's a no-brainer. You just open your file, your directory, you open your page, and then you go to your project, and it's really not relevant to you where it might be stored. Now, the power of this could be that you now can use Power Apps solutions to aggregate and maybe do some more portfolio management capabilities. And we'll talk about some of the light portfolio management capabilities that this provides. Now, many organizations and many people who do this aren't developers. And even though it's low code, no code, it does take some training and savvy in order to do that. So not everybody has the appetite to build their own applications. So hence, the Project for the Web Accelerator solution was formerly known as the Project Accelerator, the PPM Accelerator, PMO Accelerator at some points. All in all, it was meant to add a portfolio layer to what we were doing with Project for the Web. And we're proud to say that OnePlan assisted Microsoft and was enlisted to actually develop this accelerator. And it adds the dimensions to this, like a portfolio level data, aggregating multiple projects into programs, project requests, etc. And this provides a certain, basic capability of portfolio management. So if we want to look at this graphically, you got Project for the Web elements in the green where you can actually create individual projects and then add tasks and schedules to those. And then there were Power BI reports and dashboards. There was a report pack, and there is a report pack that comes with that you can then, surface that data for other people and for analysis for yourself. Now, the accelerator with Power Apps would add additional portfolio management capabilities. So it's a pre-configured solution, the accelerator is. You can extend the Power Apps entities or tables that are in there so that you can add fields and additional tables in there depending on your licensing. And you can also now have capabilities like project requests, the programs capability, be able to log issues, risks, and changes, and then have status reports as part of the project properties in a portfolio of projects. And ultimately, I would consider this kind of basic in a crawl, walk, run approach to more maturity and more sophisticated capabilities. It's probably a starting point for people in the portfolio management realm. Now, Microsoft has added to the mix, though, a variety of tools where people are doing task management, work management, and actually trying to manage projects. For example, in Microsoft Project, there is Project for the Web, and there's the traditional Microsoft Project that may be around the organization. In the Dynamics world, there's project operations for more professional services automation on professional services types of organizations that leverages some Project for the Web capabilities as well as Dynamics. In Azure DevOps, there's Azure boards where people want to manage backlogs and things like that in their development environments. And so work elements are being developed there. And in Office 365, there's things that people are doing in Teams and Planner. There's To-Do. There's tasks that people make for themselves in Outlook and SharePoint and all those types of things. So there's a variety of other potential places people can be actually developing work. And then on Power Apps, right, there's elements that can be done in Power Apps as you develop the applications that are in there, and then all other types of applications and integrations you might have. So the result is silos of information that need to be brought together. Now, if we look at the task and project management tools, there was, Microsoft To Do, where people could actually give themselves to do and action items, as well as other people assign them to them. There was Planner, where people could actually, do lightweight task management and project management. And then Microsoft Project for the Web for more modern scheduling in a lighter weight fashion. Now, the first initial consolidation of these tools was to bring To Do and Planner together. So in Microsoft Teams, many of you may have been familiar with this Tasks by Planner and To Do, which would allow you at that point to take a look at all the tasks you made for yourself in To Do and all the things that were created by Planner, and be able to bring them together in one place in Teams so that you can see what's on your plate, status them, and understand what you need to do. Now, the current stage of consolidation now, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, is all of this, including Project for the Web now, is now included. And Microsoft announced late last year, early this year, the new Microsoft Planner, so that the vision here is to have one simple, familiar experience for task and project management. Now, the new Microsoft Planner is really designed to manage all your tasks and plans in one simple, familiar place. And it's designed to be simple so that it's easy to get up and start working. It's flexible so you can work the way you want. Do you want to work in more waterfall, more agile, more lists, that type of thing. It's scalable because it's got a repository base on the back end that allows you to get as big as you need to. And it's intelligent. And as we'll talk about, Microsoft's foray and their emphasis on Copilot and AI is going to be leveraged in this sphere as well. Now, to get a understanding of what is in this, I'm going to play a short video from Microsoft to give you just a quick overview of Microsoft Planner and how Planner and Project for the Web are coming together into a common Planner brand and capabilities.
The new Planner app in Microsoft Teams, coming in early 2024, allows you to see all of your work across Microsoft 365 in a single location. Keeping intelligence at its core, Planner also includes the power of AI with new Copilot features to help you get started and stay on top of all of your work. Get started using one of the templates like Project Budget, Sprint Retrospective, or Goals and Objectives, or start with a blank plan to create any plan that you need. For now, let's start with a basic plan just for yourself. Here, you can plan out your own work, like a career plan or a personal to-do list, or start drafting work for an upcoming team project, like a marketing campaign. All of the tasks are visible in the different views. Grid view to see tasks in a simple list, board view to see tasks grouped by different fields, schedule view to see when each task will be worked on, or charts view to get a quick understanding of your plan's progress. When you need to share with others, you can easily do so by adding team members to the plan, or if you have an existing group, simply add that group. Once the plan is shared, it's simple to assign work to the correct people so everyone can quickly get started on their tasks. The Planner app in Microsoft Teams is designed to grow with you, so if you discover that you need additional functionality beyond what's offered in a basic plan, it's easy to try out premium features. In just a few clicks, you can get started using a premium template and get access to all premium capabilities. With premium plans, you also have access to the power of AI with Copilot, which can help you save time by creating relevant tasks quickly. Simply tell Copilot what you would like to accomplish, and it will add a set of tasks to your plan. Premium plans also give you access to a range of advanced project management capabilities, like goal setting, so everyone knows what you are working towards and how their work will have impact. You can also set dependencies between your tasks and see the full timeline for your project in a Gantt chart format, which includes the critical path for your plan. Organize your tasks into sprints to manage work in an agile way. Easily load balance work across your team using People View. And customize your plan by adding custom fields to tasks, conditional coloring on the grid view, and even set custom working calendars so tasks are only scheduled on the days you work. You can easily find any of your plans in the My Plans page, where all of your plans will be organized for easy access. For even quicker discovery, pin your favorite plans so you can open them from anywhere within the app. You can also quickly see all the work that is assigned to you by heading to the My Tasks page, where there is a list of tasks you are responsible for, no matter where they were assigned to you in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Finally, use the My Day view to stay focused on what you need to accomplish today. Here, you will see any tasks that are due the same day, along with any tasks that you choose to add, so you remember to stay focused on them. And for frontline organizations, Planner offers task publishing to centrally define tasks, quickly distribute work at scale, and monitor results across your organization. To learn more about how Planner can help serve frontline organizations, visit aka.ms/task publishing in Planner. Using the new power of Copilot to get started on a new project faster than ever, and with all of your tasks in one place, it's never been easier to stay organized and on top of your work. Whether you need simple task management tools or advanced project management capabilities, Planner is the one-stop shop for organization and collaboration.
So in rolling out the new Planner, The new planner experience is available now in Microsoft Teams only. It is generally available to people. And later in 2024, the new planner web experience, meaning having it be available in the browser, not just in Teams, will start rolling out later this year. Date unspecific at this point, but Microsoft is communicating later this year. And so we can look forward to doing this in either Teams and or in the browser. Now, Copilot and its availability in Planner, it's now in preview mode, and it's available to people who have Project Plan 3 or Project Plan 5 licenses, and they can preview those things if they have that tier of licensing. So you can dabble in that stuff, and we'll show you a little bit about that today. Later in 2024, Copilot and Planner web experience will be available as well, just like the Planner Premium itself will be available in the browser. So if we look at this, Microsoft really is focusing on this collaborative work management message and approach. And really, if you take the new planner with its basic and its premium and combine it with Microsoft Teams, you can do a lot of collaborative work management in that combination of an environment and an ecosystem. Now, they do talk about also enterprise work management, and this is where you can add those capabilities with Planner and maybe leverage something like the Power Apps capability in the Power Platform. All that data is being stored in the Dataverse, can leverage Copilot, but enterprise work management would be getting into basic portfolio management and other capabilities around that. And then there's some additional things you can do to even go beyond that. So the Power Platform that we're really looking at here is, Project for the Web is built on that platform. It leverages things like Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate for process automation. But OnePlan has been designed to supplement all of this and enhance and add capabilities to take things to yet another level should an organization or should a user base need the things that are there. So for example, if I look at this from a building block perspective, and I've got OnePlan with the accelerator. So the purple pieces here being the accelerator add-ons and the yellow Power BI reports. The new Planner logo with the multicolored bars here, this is where we'd have projects and tests. This was formerly Project for the Web, now called Planner Premium, and it's in transition to make sure everything's there once everything's in the browser. Now, with that, we can add with OnePlan strategic execution and strategic alignment, more advanced portfolio management capabilities that includes prioritization and scenario modeling. There's detailed financials where on a time phase basis, what you really need to add it to that, Power Apps accelerator is time phase data capabilities, like for things like financials and for resource capacity plans, et cetera. And then the ability to do a timesheet, for example, that's not there yet, or a My Work capability that might embrace more than just the Project for the Web plans. Ultimately, if you add these capabilities to what's in the accelerator and OnePlan provides these natively and seamlessly plugs into that, I'd say we move into more of a walk scenario where we get beyond that crawl and into an area where we've got some mid-range capabilities and beyond by adding the combination of OnePlan, Planner, and the Power Apps. Now, to extend that fully, the accelerator itself really only deals with Project for the Web plans. And what if people in your organization have needs to use other planning tools? Let's just say even in just the Microsoft ecosystem. The connectors that OnePlan provides allows you to choose to use either Planner or Planner Premium, Microsoft Project on the desktop, Azure DevOps for more agile planning, and even more non-Microsoft tools that you could connect into the mix here, right? So that you may have different sources of planning execution data that roll in and fold into this portfolio management capability beyond just the use of Project for the Web / Planner Premium. And we have productized connectors that makes it easy to connect those things and provide what's called an enhanced adaptive project and portfolio management, which is multiple tools, multiple methodologies, and the power of choice. This gets more to a run scenario where we can kind of mitigate some of those silos, but not yank the tools that people are using out of their hands if they have a valid need to be using them. Now, we could circumvent the Power Apps accelerator altogether if you like. You can still use your Project for the Web Now Planner Premium for your projects and your tasks, and Power BI for your reports and dashboards. But then you might even use Viva Goals for strategy. That doesn't preclude that you can use OnePlan as the platform that folds all this together. So for example, OnePlan can provide the strategy, the project request, the advanced portfolio management, the program management. Now, all these different capabilities in the blue can be provided by OnePlan, but fold in your existing use of Project for the Web, Microsoft Project Professional on the desktop, Azure DevOps, Jira, Smartsheet, Monday.com, etc. And the idea is it might simplify this by providing just a singular platform, but leverage the Microsoft tools or other tools that you for execution that you know and love. Now, as I had mentioned, on the Microsoft Cloud and on that platform, the collaborative work management vision, Microsoft is going strong in this area. And the combination of Planner with Teams and Planner Premium, formerly Project for the Web and Teams, and the use of your tools that you're already subscribed to in Office 365 gives us a basis for doing collaborative work management, which doesn't necessarily have a heavy premium or a need for overall portfolio management or more sophisticated portfolio management capabilities. Now, for a PMO and for enterprise work management, yes, Project Online is still around here. I've got it grayed out because it is really not the emphasis and not where Microsoft is really putting any investment these days. But if you take Planner Premium and the accelerator that we talked about and add that basic portfolio management capability, and then add the advanced portfolio capabilities of OnePlan, we now have the foundations for solid enterprise work management. Now you take this to the next level where you want full, what's called strategic portfolio management or SPM. OnePlan can layer this onto all of the Microsoft technologies that you're using, deliver this from the Microsoft Cloud, and provide the level of sophistication that you need as an organization. Now, what does OnePlan add to the mix? Well, OKRs and strategic execution plans, light enterprise architecture so that you can actually have portfolios of applications, products, business capabilities, value streams, et cetera, that align with and have to be factored into your portfolio decisions. We have a full portal for ideation and requests that allows anybody in the organization or even outside to submit those things to be vetted and possibly approved and promoted into projects. Full portfolio planning, where we have flexible portfolio planning, whether it be rich list views, whether it be board views for more agile-oriented people, whether it be roadmap views that are needed for people to describe deliveries to people. All those capabilities are in rich views within OnePlan. The time phase data that's lacking in the accelerator approach is for things like resource capacity planning. There's the financial planning, which is often happen to be done on a time phase basis in many organizations. And then be able to look at alternatives on the fly with what if scenario modeling without impacting the current production data while we're assessing those things is something that's inherent. On the execution side of things, we do provide a capability to do waterfall work plans and agile work plans, but we also have connectors for popular work management tools that will fold in and roll up into your portfolio the data from the tools that you're looking at. And we'll talk about that in a little bit more. And we do support the need for issues, risks, changes, and all that stuff. Individual resource planning and resource negotiation on an individual project level, as well as the ability to do timesheets for people that have to bill other clients, do chargebacks, or even just capitalize labor. It's something that's within the same tool set, so you don't have to integrate with yet another external tool set to make that happen. And be able to bring the work together from all these different tools potentially into one forum so that you have one hub to work from as a user. And I'd say the status reporting, the dashboarding, and the visualizations that associate and visualize the associations of all those things like alignment to strategy, alignment and dependency on enterprise architecture assets and elements is something that OnePlan provides you out of the box. The idea here is to get the outcomes you're looking for. We do also provide artificial intelligence. Our AI assistant, Sophia, is purpose-built, and we'll talk about a little bit more to enhance the use of all this and supplement what you're doing with Copilot. So the idea here is to do the right work, and then once we decide the right work to do it well. Now, the connectors we're talking about are out-of-the-box productized connectors. So if we're looking at connecting this OnePlan infrastructure for portfolio management to other tools, The Microsoft tools here with Planner and Project, as well as Azure DevOps, those are some of our more popular connectors. Even on the Microsoft side, Dynamics can be integrated from a financial management perspective, service and case management perspective, and even the CRM and professional services area as intake for those things as opportunities, let alone integration with Viva Goals. The other part of the integration story is the user experience. Now, we do have not just data level integration where we exchange data, but OnePlan can be surfaced in other tools or environments. For example, if you're using the accelerator or your own Power App, OnePlan has been designed to be surfaced and used within a Power App very, very easily. OnePlan and Teams, we're an authorized Microsoft Teams applications. We can just surface and use OnePlan in the core, in conjunction with your use of Teams, and use it within Teams, as well as do the same thing in Azure DevOps without ever leaving Azure DevOps. We do the same thing in Dynamics, we do the same thing in SharePoint, and from a non-Microsoft perspective, we even do the same thing in Jira. So Sophia, just a little bit more on her. She's a purpose-built for strategic portfolio management AI assistant that's based on Microsoft's Azure OpenAI, meaning it's got more security and compliance and protections than you would have in the general internet with things like ChatGPT. And it can help you with all kinds of things like analysis, routine tasks, data entry, anomaly detection, all those kinds of things. And it's made available to you full-time from within OnePlan. So it's always present, and it's not a premium item. It's basically part of the core solution. You can give it prompts and get analysis, responses, or even actions for you to actually incorporate into your planning. Now, the types of use cases that Sophia can help us with are in the areas of strategic planning, portfolio optimization, work management, risk assessment, resource allocation, investment forecasting, just to name a few. And we're always adding more all the time as we evolve this capability. So with that, let me go to a little bit of a demonstration for you. Now, I'm not going to go too much into Project for the Web other than historical to say, you know, being able to access from the browser, it's still called Project for the Web in the browser, not yet Planner Premium because that hasn't been released yet. And the key there is that you can actually easily get to in the browser any of your project plans in here and get to all those capabilities that you want to get to. So just like you saw in the video, you can actually work with grids, boards, timeline charts, etc., and be able to access those things on demand. And I'll show that more in the Teams area. But the key here is when you're looking at this and you go to a home page, you're really just accessing individual project plans. You're looking at data and things like charts and data from an individual project at a time, right? What you really need is something to bring everything together as a portfolio. And as we mentioned, the simple case, and that's what's available to extend Project for the Web today and or Planner Premium, is what's called the Project for the Web Accelerator. And this does handle only Project for the Web. And so if I look at this and I go to, say, a project portfolio table, and I can have a variety of views on how I want to look at this, you know, so you can have different views with different fields of data available. But basically, it's an inventory or a register of all your projects, of which you can actually look at different portfolio level data that wouldn't exist without an accelerator because there's no real place to put it for a portfolio management until you actually put this in place. And then you can drill into specific projects. And in this particular case, instead of just having a schedule as a piece of information when you use Project for the Web by itself or Planner Premium by itself, you now have the ability to put data and metadata against this portfolio to categorize your projects, etc. You can now have, you know, tables for issues and risks and other things that you'd like to basically log in here. And then the task management, you know, is being done by Project for the Web, meaning that you would actually just access this amongst other dimensions of project information that you have available to you, right? So this accelerator would add those capabilities to you, would allow you to aggregate multiple projects into programs, etc., and give you those capabilities. Now, we could, from this, if you're already using the accelerator and have a need for some of the things that OnePlan provides, we can interject seamlessly OnePlan into the accelerator and into your Power App. So for example, as I come through here and I drill into, say, the projects now, and I go into, say, this 401k enhancements project, looks very similar to what we have before, but notice what we have in here. We've now added more time phase data capabilities, like a resource capacity planner that's going to fold into an overall resource capacity plan for your entire portfolio. You know, all the things that you're looking at and using with Project for the Web and your issues, risks, and changes and things like that in here are all available to us, but the time phase planning you might want to plan in terms of hours or percentages of allocation or FTEs is all available to you in here, as well as time phase data for your financial planning. So these are types of things that you can do in here in addition to what is being made available by Project for the Web and the accelerator natively, okay? We also provide an analyzer, which is a more enhanced portfolio management view that still folds in all of your Project for the Web plans. So when I look at this portfolio here with this, notice more rich, colorful views, being able to add things like, you know, schedules and Gantt chart representations in here, being able to, you know, look at those things from a timeline perspective and how things are going from a schedule perspective, being able to, you know, interject things like resource data and such, and have different views on, you know, prioritization and schedules and those types of things, and even portfolio boards for the more agile folks that want to look at things in a more agile perspective. Ultimately, you know, things like an overall resource capacity plan is then a natural output of this, and we extend that capability to provide more robust, fully functional portfolio management capabilities, and to bring parity and even more capabilities than what people have in Project Online. Now, things like the timesheet, many of people are driven to use that Project Online solution via timesheet. We provide a timesheet that's overall part of this overall solution. So once again, enhancing. And many of you out there may already be using Project for the Web, maybe using Project for the Web with the accelerator, and have these kind of more advanced needs. You can easily add this to the mix at any point in time. Now, let's go to where Microsoft's currently going and where they are. So let me go into Microsoft Teams real quick. And what's available now with Planner Premium, formerly Project for the Web, now called Planner Premium, is it's now available only in Teams until later this year. And I go to the Planner icon here on the left-hand side. You'll notice the new Planner brand here, all right? And you'll notice that we can go into an area where I have some pinned project plans that are over here, or I could simply go to my plans in here, which is a list of the things to access things like I've got recent and personal and pinned and shared and those types of things. But for example, that same software development plan that I opened up for you standalone in the browser, I can open up here right in Teams and work with it right in here. This capability that's here brings together and merges what was formerly Planner, which is now called Planner Basic, and the extended capabilities that you can get with Planner Premium. So the same plan that we were looking at in the browser, we're now working with right here within Microsoft Teams, where we're looking at the grid view, the board view, the timeline view, all the different things that we showed earlier on are in here. And when you go in here and you look at things like a new plan and look at some templates, notice there's a delineation between Basic, which is the old Planner, and Planner Premium, which was formerly Project for the Web. So for example, if I go in to try and use a simple plan template, for example, you can see that that's available with Basic. But if I go to say use the sprint planning template, that's a premium template that's only really being used or available for premium users who are using Planner Premium. And the key there is you can start with a variety of templates and build your own and those types of things to get moving forward. So all those capabilities that you have are in here, as well as the addition or the preview of Copilot in here. So for example, you know, you could come in here and leverage this in the context of helping you build your plan. And if I went in to ask it a question like, how about add some goals to grow the business? I can ask it that question and see what it'll come up with. It looks like it's creating some goals. And this is helping us with our planning process and saving us some time. It says they added some goals, and if I go to the goals area here, you'll see that it's actually added some goals into here in addition to the ones I already had in here. And I can either choose to accept those, or I could say, let me undo this and we'll, you know, get back to the goals that I did have and do some of those now, so it can help us with building tasks and those types of things. Now, ultimately, we talked about using OnePlan potentially as the platform, and it connects also with Teams for more content and collaboration as well. So if I go to the more strategic portfolio management capability, this is where we can leverage more than just Project for the Web as far as a planning tool, and really, give people the power of choice on which planning tool makes the most sense for them to use as they start working with in their portfolio. So for example, one of the things we give is people some insights, both AI driven and otherwise, that allow them to see what requires their attention and give them easy access to the plans that they're most active in, or the ones that pertain to them, conversations around their plans, their schedules, and their resources, what's due, etc. And you can define the insights that you'd like people to have. We also have a full ideation area that allows a portal for anybody in your organization to come in and submit an idea and a request, such that they can have voting on these things. They can do prioritization schemes to get a common valuation of projects and those types of things. You can go in and drill into a specific one, and you can, we have templates, but you can basically specify the forms of the data elements you'd like to capture in your approval process up above, and what these things are associated and aligned with, such that when we talked about visualization and aligning with other things in the system, I can see that I have no predecessors or successors, but this website redesign is basically aligned with this key result of increased web traffic by 20% through SEO and content, and the objective of increasing our brand awareness. So the idea here is that these things can be vetted, approved, and at the appropriate time be promoted into projects very seamlessly from within the same section. So if we reorganize this, I can turn this idea into a project very easily and carry forth with it all the data that we captured during the idea process. Now we're here to talk about portfolio management primarily, and if we look at that and we have in the portfolio just the elements that we intend to work on, then all of a sudden I can establish my own plan type hierarchy, portfolios, programs, projects, or however you want to structure it for your organization. But if you look at this portfolio, and I'll go into one portfolio, notice the icons on the left-hand side here. It's indicating to me that these individual projects or epics are actually tied to other execution tools. So for example, here, I've got this one is tied to Microsoft Planner. This one's tied to Azure DevOps. This one's tied to Smartsheet, Project for the Web, Project Professional, Monday.com. So all these things are available to us as we go through. Now, when I looked at the summary page within the accelerator, the ability to actually drill into a particular project and look at things like the visualization, have a detail page that's easily tailorable by you, the customer, so that we can have things like the business case that came over, the metadata that categorizes this project, current state of the schedule and the financials, trending that we're seeing in there, etc. These are all things that you can do within here. And the things like the financials that we showed you in the accelerator, the resource plan that we showed you there, the individual work plans now, those are in here as well, and all without really needing an accelerator to provide that. So in this particular case, this was a plan that was actually built right here within OnePlan using a template, but potentially it could have been integrated by connecting to a variety of different tools that we've enabled in this environment. So the idea here is that you can have work plans, you can have more waterfall schedule, more agile backlogs, logs for issues, risks, changes, key decisions, all those types of things here as we go through. And the idea here is that that whole idea of rich portfolio management capabilities, and be able to look at this thing with timelines like I showed you before, board views, which we can have a variety of different board views available to us at any given point in time, where we can have to define what our columns and our swim lanes are, and our roadmap views that are a natural output of the process that do not have to be built, and then allow us to get to that roadmap view very, very easily. And for example, if I'm concerned that something is yellow, I could go in here and very quickly go in and say, let me just get a quick edit of this particular item and look what's driving the fact that this thing is yellow. And I can get access to all the data in those details pages very quickly and understand that it's really issues that are driving it more than anything else. So once again, very flexible, more rich capability from a portfolio management perspective. If I go back to the portfolio list, I want to start focusing on some of these connectors, right? So let me go into this portfolio. And since we started with Project for the Web, now Planner Premium, if I drill into this particular project plan, go to the work plan, here is a representation in one plan format, but unlike the other one that wasn't connected, this one actually has an active connection to this Project for the Web plan where these tasks are coming from. If I go to open this item and I can see if I have access to Project for the Web, I can actually go in here and see the source data that's being synchronized by OnePlan's connector platform. And as changes are made here, those changes are going to reflect themselves in OnePlan format right here, and then have that data as appropriate rolling up into the overall portfolio here in OnePlan. Let me go up here and let me search for another one. Let me go into Microsoft Planner, right? If we want to be connected to Microsoft Planner or Planner Basic. Let's say here's the planner tasks that are here, and there's an active connection to a planner plan for that. And as it's retrieving that information, we're opening up Planner, and now we can see the tasks that are built in Planner that we built here in that board, and that's what's syncing over into OnePlan actively. So your user can continue to work in Planner if that's where they work, but the data is getting back to the OnePlan portfolio without them having to even remember to synchronize. It happens all by itself. If I go look at something like Microsoft Project on the desktop, right? Project Professional, since it's not really a web tool, right? You could actually do this with Project Online and or Project Desktop where it's saved to files. And as we see that this plan is actually connected to a Project Professional plan. In this particular case, it's going to actually open the desktop version of Project Professional. This is the source of the data that's rolling into OnePlan because people are preferring, in this case, to use Microsoft Project Professional because they've got time invested in the thought process and the data, as well as maybe it has capabilities they need to manage their schedule. And very easily, even though a desktop tool, they can publish this data to refresh the data that's in OnePlan, and any updates that come back from status in OnePlan can be brought back into Project Professional, so we have good collaborative byplay as we go back and forth. Let's look at Azure DevOps. So if I go to a plan now that's connected to Azure DevOps, and let me go into the work plan real quick, and let me go into the backlog since this is an Agile plan primarily. And as I look here and I look at the backlogs down to the user stories that are here and the tasks, this is all coming from an active integration with Azure DevOps. This is the element, in this case an epic, that we're tied to in Azure DevOps, and there's the first layer of children that we're bringing in. Each have children of their own as well. But one of the key things I'd like to show is that the OnePlan with our extensions, we can get to the portfolio, the resource plan, all of the things here right from within Azure DevOps, or even specific things for OnePlan that might be particular to this particular epic, bring additional capabilities and data right into Azure DevOps so that the user here that's working in a more agile fashion does not have to leave Azure DevOps to access the OnePlan capabilities. So in this particular case, they have access to the work plan to see what's been synchronized over there. We've got the resource planning data that's over there that wouldn't ordinarily be in Azure DevOps. If you're tracking financials, that financial data is there. The details are in here, right? As far as the details page that has all the information around this that we captured and that's relevant. And as we go in here to the reporting area, I can do things like the visualizations, like we said, look at dependencies, and even the runway of how this thing's aligned, where I can see this epic now is associated with two different key results that all go back to the same strategic objective. And then we have some products and applications that we have to factor in here as well that are also aligned with that. So once again, complete visibility without leaving Azure DevOps. That once again, enhance portfolio management capabilities, but also being able to tap into a variety of sources beyond just Project for the Web. Now on the resource planning side of things, I did show you a resource plan that was specific to an individual project. And as I come through here, all this would fold into an overall resource plan that would roll up the information that's available. Now we can do top-down resource planning. That really is like doing a headcount plan within a spreadsheet. But for example, let's, instead of looking at this at hours and this all up, let me look at FTEs. and I can see red, yellow, greens where I can see, for example, that Bertram is over allocated in a number of periods. Well, why is that? Well, it's because he's got a percentage of his allocation allocated across a number of different projects that are in here. And I might come in here and I might say, well, what if we wanted to find a candidate to possibly replace him? I can actually do matching, and I can actually look at who might have the availability and bandwidth with his skill set and department that might be able to replace him, and I can do those replacements right within here and balance my resource loads very quickly. I can even look at this stuff from a bottom up and just roll up the detailed scheduled tasks where people are assigned and look how that goes as well. And if I come in here and say, let me look at Daniel Williams, who looks to have some over allocation here, and I can see from the bottom up that he is allocated pretty heavily on different plans within here, and here are the tasks that he's on that are rolling up to contribute to that. And it always has an eye on your overall capacity and where else you might be allocated. Just a couple of things that we'll touch on briefly. We do have a what if modeler that allows you to set up models for evaluating alternatives in your portfolio management capabilities, which is something that's very important in this fast-paced changing environment that we live in today. And the idea is that you can come in here and have both potential and active projects into the mix that you'd like to incorporate into a what if scenario model. You can actually take a look and see, do I have the resources or the financials to do this? And I see some red in this mix, and the financials might be beyond what we can do within a budget perspective. And then I can then do different models. So for example, I can do selection and time phasing of this information such that what if my limit was $10 million? And I see that through selection and deselection, as I go through the financial perspective and the financial lens of this, I can see that, yes, I got within the $10 million range here, but I could only do 17 of those projects within that budget constraint, right? Now, it looks like from a resource perspective, it looks like this number is a little more doable. I only have one pocket of red that's in here right now that would do that. But then I can look at, say, a $15 million scenario, et cetera. Now, I can compare the analyses and I can see that, if I get $5 million more dollars, I could do 10 more projects and I could maybe get another $20 million of benefit that I didn't get before. So the key there is it might be worth me going to get those things. And I can look at things like your traditional bubble charts and see what we did select, see what we didn't select, and maybe do a further analysis on there's some things we overlooked. And our visualizer can be used here to do a variety of things like saying, did we select things that have predecessors or successors that are unselected? Should we reconsider based on priorities, right? And look at an overall runway and how these things are all interrelated. So once again, a lot of capabilities that extend far beyond what you get with the portfolio capabilities in the Power Platform with the Power Apps Accelerator. Once again, food for thought, depending on what level of portfolio management you aspire to get to. Well, let me do one more thing. I really didn't get you an active look at Sophia. And if I come into the ideas area, for example, and I've got all these ideas and requests that I'm looking at doing, right? What if I have a myriad of things, more than I know what to do with, and I want to ask it for some analysis? Because I showed some work management with Copilot. But if I invoke Sophia here and I say, based on votes, priority, and ROI, what 3 projects should we approve first and why? And have it analyze this. Now, there are a lot of dimensions that factoring them all in together might be complex for me to do, but I just want to use this as a relatively simple example of how you might get some things. So for example, it says user experience design. It tells me why, because of the metrics and the scoring, as well as the rationale behind that. It tells me the website redesign is going to be important because of the variety of factors. And it's also going to give me a third one, because I did ask it for 3, the customer relationship management system. So once again, a way to use these things. And the reason I bring this up now is that in the slides, there'll be some listing of some things where they can provide a viable list of OKRs. Sophia can do that for you. It can provide you analysis of your overall portfolio. It can help you optimize your portfolio data and give you analysis of your active portfolio. It can help you optimize your budget and your plan. It can actually help you build business cases and write that narrative without starting from scratch. It can help you actually build a schedule based upon the data and the metadata you put in regarding the project. It can actually build a work breakdown structure or a backlog for you and give you a starting point without starting from scratch, and even identify risks proactively that you might want to keep an eye on. So once again, all these things, resource capacity planning, what's a good resource plan we could start with? What resources am I short and do I need to hire? Etc. It's, the financial analysis is in here as well. And even communications like writing summary emails or status reports for your manager are all things that are available to us right here in OnePlan. So just to recap, as we're getting close to the top of the hour here, OnePlan has been aligned and has enhanced, deployed the Microsoft project offerings in project and portfolio management for many years. And Microsoft is in the process of reimagining and combining Project for the Web and Planner into a common brand and common set of tools. And Microsoft is really focusing their efforts primarily in this collaborative work management space. But OnePlan, in partnership, provides a platform and services that extend the new Microsoft Planner to provide full enterprise work management, project portfolio management, and strategic portfolio management, whether you're going to use things like the accelerator or want to use OnePlan as that platform using the execution tools. So we integrate other solutions and tools as needed, and all of the OnePlan stuff is still delivered from the Microsoft Cloud. And we provide solution services and migration support to ensure that you have a successful transition. We are a Microsoft partner. We were recognized 5 consecutive years as either the finalist or the winner of their Project Portfolio Management Partner of the Year. We're also recognized by Gartner, Forrester in their Forrester Wave for Strategic Portfolio Management, and Infotech Research. Now, you can get the accelerator if you want to try that approach. It's up on AppSource or in GitHub. If you need some assistance with that, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to engage with you. We also have free trials of the OnePlan environment if you want to just do that connected to Planner Premium or other Microsoft tool sets. The strategic portfolio management is the most fully functional one. And once again, we're happy to engage with you and give you some complimentary assistance to get the most out of your trial. You can go to oneplan.ai/solutions, or it's up on Microsoft AppSource. So ultimately, take us up on the free trial. Or if you want us to have a conversation on a roadmap workshop of what it's going to take to get you to the solutions that we're talking about here today, or if you just want a more detailed demo, I gave you a real flyby high-level demo today. If you want to drill into some specific areas, we're happy to schedule that with you. Just reach out to us at contact@oneplan.ai or research more about our solutions at www.oneplan.ai. So thank you very much for your time and attention today. Bringing all this stuff together, converging all these different dimensions into one hub in OnePlan, we call that the power of one. And it really does leverage the myriad of Microsoft tools and technologies that are there and delivers all of this from the Microsoft Cloud. It gives you robust portfolio management capabilities as well as the power of choice. Thank you again, and have a great day.